Hey, whoa. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Oh, yo. I came up from the struggle, now we stacking chips. Black Wall Street, we rebuilding from the pits. Politics and business, we beyond rich. Donnie Glover Show, watch her shift the switch. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle when the real ones come. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Talking black excellence, ain't no exclusivity. History in making, reclaiming our divinity. Brick by brick, rebuilding our community. Donnie Glover Show, celebrate unity. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the real ones come. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. From the boardroom to the streets, we making waves. Business minds running new paths paved. Politicians listen, they know we are brave. Black Wall Street dreams rising from the grave. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the real ones come. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Oh, yo. Oh, yo. Oh, yo, yo, yo. Oh, yo. Oh, yo. Oh, yo. From the boardroom to the streets, we making waves. Business minds grinding, new paths paved. Politicians listen, they know we the brave. Black Wall Street dreams rising from the grave. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the real ones come. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. We like to welcome you to the show. I am the publisher of BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. And we are just getting started with the show. We hope that you can join us tonight. Check your messages, Mr. Hannibal. We have talked about, one of the things we've talked about on the show is the land. I just want to reiterate our good old friend, Walter Plecker. And each show, we want to bring information about indigenous peoples, and it's expanded, not just indigenous peoples here in the Americas, but indigenous peoples across the globe. One place that we have not touched is, this is Walter Plecker. And in 1924, Walter Plecker was in charge of the census in Virginia. And he came up with what is called the Racial Integrity Act. And let me not leave my guests backstage. Welcome to the show, Dr. Mojisola. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Donnie?
I'm doing good. So look, this guy, Walter Plecker, down in Richmond, Virginia, he was a real mother for you. You remember that song?
Yeah.
He's a real mother for you. This guy here, Walter Plecker. And let me just say this. Going back to the first show we did with Mike Lane, Mike came with a machine gun full of information. And it's unfortunate the conversation kind of got derailed. But one of the things that he brought out was about Walter Plecker, about what did he used the term? It's called paper genocide. You ever heard of paper genocide?
Yes.
Okay, paper genocide is where they write you off the rolls. So Walter Ashby Plecker, interestingly, born April 2nd, 1861, was an American physician and public health advocate. And he came up with this Racial Integrity Act. And he was a eugenicist. He studied eugenics. You familiar with eugenics?
Yes.
She has never been one of my favorite people. Her name is Margaret Sanger. She was related. She was a mentee of Charles Galton. Charles Galton was the cousin to Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin, of course, came up with survival of the fittest. It's like your child coming to you and telling you something they discovered, and they think they found it. They were the first one ever to find something.
And a lot of that stuff has become debunked, you know, as we continue to uncover more things.
Because those were the foundational roots of this superior white race. Can you imagine your child telling you they're superior to you? Exactly. That's Walter Plecker.
Yep.
Essentially, and I want to say something else, and I've been holding this for a minute. We were dubbed 3/5 of a human being by people like this guy here.
Well, I mean, in some cases, you know, especially, you know, when we looked at the Constitution, or even during looking at a lot of the different cases from back in the days, we never really truly had personhood, even till this day. We technically really weren't written into the Constitution. So, I mean, and even before they read it, they were saying that we were savages and all kinds of, so we were never identified as human beings or given personhood at the end of the day. Yeah, it's crazy.
So let me tell you about this Racial Integrity Act, 1924, an attack on indigenous identity. Captain John Smith, Chesapeake National Historic Trail, George Washington Memorial Parkway, more. At the beginning of the 20th century, the eugenics movement was gaining momentum. Now, I went too fast. Margaret Sanger is the mother of Planned Parenthood. So what I'm about to say is just my beliefs. It's not the beliefs of this station, this network, just my personal beliefs. Margaret Sanger said, because I've heard the rebuttals from even Black women, oh no, Planned Parenthood is our friend. And callback, the default is they give women health care. That's not all they do. When you think about it, Planned Parenthood, to my calculations, they're responsible for about 40 million Black babies being aborted. If we notice what is going on, it's being spearheaded by white males who have the mindset of scarcity.
That's absolutely the truth right there.
What we have now is a group of people, and that's these white supremacists who feel like their time is running out, that there are not enough resources to feed the world. And if you ask me, it's more like a guilt trip. You know, you've been stealing and stealing and stealing and stealing and stealing. And the people you've been stealing from are waking up.
Waking up all over the world.
And you know the first thing they're going to do is whoop that his ass. And you know it's going to happen because you know you deserve it.
Well, they've known it for a long time. Their biggest fear was for us to wake up and know exactly like our truth and our roots, and you know, because they understand that basically that the knowledge that we have, everything that we've brought to the table, they would be nothing without us.
I'm watching. Hey, Planet Wells, come on in, man. Stop playing blessed. Come on in here, Elder. Did you get the link? You know I sent it to you.
Welcome, everybody.
Did you see? I don't even want to say his name. Did you see the guy that's 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue over at the castle in England?
No, tell me more about that, Donnie.
He was in England yesterday, and outside they made up a song about Trump that rhymed with cunt. They say they didn't know he was a cunt. It was crazy.
No, I didn't hear. I did see them when he went to visit that they projected him on like about the whole little espions for files and everything on there. That's what I saw, but I didn't hear about the song. Wow.
Oh, this was happening outside. And what I'm saying is, you know, because media has a way of painting the royals. The royals. I'm looking at these cats in tuxedos. What's his name? Prince Charles or whomever. You know, it's like,
He on his last
you
name.
a royal? How? Why? Does that mean you're the king thief? What makes you royal? The tuxedo? Your bloodline? Because all of y'all look alike.
It's really their bloodline, but you know they was all doing incest, you know, in the beginning because they was Elizabeth married to
What's
her cousin.
royal about incest? Are you all you?
It's just their
Go
lineage.
there, my man. Hey, Lush, I'm gonna tell you, this show is going to enlighten you to some things. We ain't even got started yet. Waiting on these elders to kick in. They hiding out. Maybe it's Thursday night. They out at the bowling. But let me get back, and I'm gonna put your comment up, Mario. He said, "How did they steal your land? They stole your land when they came here and told you leave Southeast Florida, leave the Southeast of America. Y'all been fighting back. You fought to a truce. I wrote about it in my second book, I Am Black Wall Street. They told them people to go from Florida to Oklahoma, which was called Indian Territory. And when they got out there, Chief John Horse, who led the way, said, these people still trying to put chains on us. Let's get up out of here. They went through Texas into Mexico and became the border patrol for Mexico. So even in the midst of slavery, white supremacists, slavers, the Spanish, the British, this black man led 200 black families to Oklahoma, not slaves. These were soldiers that fought in the Second Seminole War, all the way to Texas, through to Mexico, and became, I mean, he negotiated a hell of a deal to become the border patrol for Mexico. Derek said, it's not the land they stole, it is your name they stole, American. No, they stole the land.
Yeah.
They stole the land. I stand by that. RR, Realize TV, Peace Kin folks. So they ain't even started up yet. Let me tell you something, sister. You ain't even seen these comments.
They going in.
You haven't even seen these comments light up. Mafia Shakur, he's been a great supporter. I appreciate you, Mafia Shakur. So I'll just sum it up. When I calculated how many, he got tens of thousands of black people to show up. He had the census people say, you're Indian, you're Negro. And it didn't matter if you had a great-grandmother, grandmother, three grandmothers, three grandfathers, whatever, that were native. He wrote you off as Negro. That means you get no land. And when I multiplied it up based on some conservative numbers, at least 5 billion in land was stolen from the Native Americans. Black Native Americans, melanated Native Americans. You got to watch the word black on here because they will tell you quick that black is a color and it has hateful connotations.
And some people say it's a construct, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, the word black is about, you know, however you take it. Hello, Be More from Tampa. Hey.
That's Michael Randolph. Michael Randolph was here in West Baltimore, but he went down there to Florida and never came back.
He loving that life out there, huh?
Yeah, he got down there. The Gullah Wars. You mentioned the Gullahs earlier. I told you they talk about everything on the show. Let's see what we're supposed to be talking about today. It was better to claim that he was black and not native. So a lot of people were shushed on their indigeneity. A lot of people were forced to hide it, Lush.
Yeah. My grandmother said her family had 600 acres in Randallstown. Wow.
Now, let me give you another piece. If you go and say that you have indigenous blood, one of the things I experienced, welcome Hannibal James. How you doing, big brother?
I'm okay. How you doing today?
I'm proud of you, Hannibal James. I like your setup, brother. I like your setup, brother. Let me get Walter Pleck out and show all of these beautifully melanated people on here. Look at you. Look at you. My man. Soldier right there. Me and this lady go back 15, 20 years, man.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome.
Tell them about yourself, Emoji Solar.
Oh man, where do you want me to start at?
This lady is in media, man. I saw her interviewing Denzel Washington one time.
Oh, Lord.
Denzel took the mic from her and flipped the camera on her. This one right here.
Wow.
I love you, Donnie.
Business. She's a veteran of the U.S. Army. She's got roots in Nigeria. She's got roots in Baltimore, roots in New York.
Okay.
And you got some. Did you mention the Caribbean to me? What'd you tell me about the Caribbean? The Gullah? No, the Gullahs we were talking about.
No, we were talking about the Gullah Geechee, but like just looking at all of the connections with like there's a place in called Abeokuta that's in Nigeria that we found out later that used to be in Jamaica too, but it got like washed away. So there's so much connections, and then also finding out there was some Yoruba tribes in Haiti that helped fought the war and stuff. So just finding all these different connections from the Antiguans and the Jamaicans and stuff, and how we're like connected in so many different ways. We're not that separated. We are American Indians. American is our nationality. But more people, more Black people, more Americans are coming out. Black Americans are coming out, standing up and identifying as Black Indians, you know. But I think me and Donnie were talking earlier about talking about how like everything was kind of, you know, before a lot of the changes on the map, because the changes on the map, a lot of the everything was like together, and Africans had been traveling to the US for years. You know, they have been discovering stuff before, like Columbus. So there's so many different things that are connected and separated. But I mean, the Native American thing, there was a lot of shame too when it came to, you know, identifying as a Native American, and a lot of people were silenced because you had a lot of these white people that were buying into the identity of Native American, you know.
Are you talking about them $5 Indians?
Mm-hmm.
Wells, you gonna come in? You gonna cut your camera on, Mr. Wells? I see you backstage.
Black is
A catch term.
For Moors.
You know, a lot of terms, I don't know that we'll ever agree. Melanated is a safe way. That's what I try to stick with.
Melanated, okay.
I haven't heard any arguments with melanated. Let's bring in the elder. How you doing there, Mr. Wells?
I'm good. Thank you.
Black.
Glad to be here.
You are Black by popular demand. They said bring him back. Hannibal said bring him back.
Yes, sir.
So quickly, the term elder, right? We definitely don't want to get into the Western connotation of that.
Mm.
So to me, I'm middle aged.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I know it's it's in respect, but I don't base my life on their predictions. Okay. All right. Let's get it.
All right.
What's
So
that?
I want to get into the land they stole. Hannibal, did you figure out how much land? Was any land stolen from you?
Oh yeah. I'm so far, like me and my cousins, we got a project we working on right now, and we definitely for sure looking at 120 acres plus another 314 and another 620 acres. I know that a lot of people might not know about the 1832 census, the Treaty of Cassetta, that the chiefs received 320 acres, and the big headmans received 640 acres. So far, I found my third great grandmother tied to 3 plots, 3 allotments down there. So I know it's 18 counties in Alabama. So if you got roots in Alabama, and it's 18 counties down there that got records, that got the actual land plots, the designations under the BLM, under that GLOW site. So you'll be able to, if you know any information.
What's that?
Bureau of Land Management. That's
we
where,
got to teach them here. Bureau of Land Management.
yes. So the Bureau of Land Management, that's where you find the land patents. So if you know the county and whoever's attached to it, you'll be able to find the land patent. So like I was able to do. It took a while, you know. It's nothing that's overnight. You just got to have the information. But like I said, if it's 18 counties in Alabama for sure that was Creek territory, and these people got land there.
Derek is because we want to tell people where to go.
Okay,
we want people to know where to go. Bureau of Land Management. I've also learned that every state has a commission, has a Native American commission.
They do.
Yeah. So I know that. See, it all depends. I know that Alabama look like they only recognize like one group of Creek Indians called the Porch Band of Creek Indians down in Elmore County, Alabama. That's the county just right below the county my ancestors is in. So it's you know, that's a good thing. I learned about the Bureau of Land Management about a year ago, and I was able to find and locate my patents. Let me see, could I go to my screen and I'll probably be able to share my screen with you.
So the patent is a document, because I'm thinking like, you know, patents that you got to go through in DC and all of that legal stuff.
So when they was basically like, so when they was allocating this land, it's a patent of a person that actually owns this land. So basically everybody else is basically renters of the land. You know, even though you might own a property, but you actually rent it. Somebody actually owns on that property. That's why you ever see that you can own the property, but you don't got the mineral rights to the property?
Yes.
Because you don't got the patent to it.
Correct.
What?
So if you can own the property and you don't have the mineral rights, you know what I'm saying, because you don't own the patent, you don't own the actual patent to the land. Every piece of land has a patent, an original owner, and that original owner and their heirs own that property forever. Correct. So when you see like for my third great grandmother on the deed she got, it says that for her and her heirs forever. So it was in the trust. So, you know, you start finding trust properties, like that's a trust property when it say you and your heirs forever.
Damn, I'm learning. I keep on learning on this show.
Yes,
welcome
sir.
to the show there, big brother Horace. How you doing today?
Peace, my brother. Peace, panel.
Hey,
How's everybody?
Peace.
All right.
Well, keep going, animal.
Well, you know, I know that we're close. My group and my family, we're real close to bring something with these folks, to be able to, you know, to really have a stance, because look like my family is attached to the quote unquote those who was chiefs at the time. And, you know, just to hint at some things, it looked like some Creeks came back from Oklahoma in the 30s to Alabama. And it was some graphite and tin down there. So, and that's got something to do with us. So it's a lot of other peripheral businesses that got to do with these natives. You know,
okay,
so it's
for the record, what are the benefits of having a land patent? I did not know any of this, never heard of it. I'm making a phone call in the morning to see if I got some gold or oil in my land. Particularly a land patent. Did you know this, Horace?
Well, yeah, that's when they came here with their paperwork. Because before then, there was no paperwork to designate land ownership, because the people of the land already knew that the land never belonged to us. We might be in control of it, but we can never own something that belongs to the Mother Earth. So that was something that the Europeans had brought here. But if anybody is familiar with the Cestui Que Vie Trust Act of 1666, the way they have this design for the world in general, but especially us, is that if we are heirs to land or anything that we are not claiming, then we are considered dead and lost at sea.
That's true.
you know what?
Now that the people of the land are reclaiming what's theirs by nature, then those squatters, according to international law, have to leave the land.
Have you guys ever read the 18 or heard about the 1828 Webster Dictionary? Webster was the one who made the dictionary. It was a guy named Webster. He made his first dictionary in 1828, and he used the word black, and the word black means dead. So it's like, when we spell, it's like we can actually indirectly put curses on us.
Mm.
Yeah, at the same time, I'm about, if anybody got a curse on them, it's somebody that's so damn ugly they want to look like me. That's a curse. And I ain't got to curse nothing. I'm tired of the curses, okay? I'm tired of them throwing trash on the pyramids too, Hars.
I think that
help them to understand what I just said, Hars. I know I sound crazy.
But no, man, I'm riding with you till the wheels fall off. When it comes to the language, we have to realize the people who term the words, and like me and Donnie had an initial conversation, we are such a complex people that we turn bad words into other words because we have multi-dimensional mindsets. Like bad is good. So them, if you say, "Oh man, that's bad," they thinking bad, and we thinking good. Or if we say, "Oh man, that's cold," they thinking cold. Well, we thinking nice. So we can add our own definitions to the words without cursing anybody. Because if you want to be technical or politically correct, the only time you can curse someone is when you damn them intentionally. All of those other words really never even existed in the first place.
Why do we get caught? So this is something. And what are we? Because what's the difference between American Native and Native American? Am I missing something? And again, we are arguing about a bastardized language. It ain't even a real language. I don't know if we giving it a little too much power.
Well, we are.
It's a bastard language.
We are, but I think that as a people that's waking up, we just trying to disassociate ourselves with this corporation who landed their Plymouth Rock on us. So some of these words that we're using are tied to their system. Like even the word indigenous in itself is tied to their soliloquies or what they call legalese. So that's the only thing we're trying to do, man, is detach from that. But in the layman's terms, when we use those words, I think that it's okay because we know what we're talking about. We know that we're not white. Exactly. But even Noble Lee said, according to science, black means death, and white means pure, and pure means God, and God means ruler of the land.
I know white to mean without color. That's my understanding of the word white.
That too, yeah. That's true.
And we're arguing over a bastard language.
That's not even our original language.
Yeah. When I see y'all know who I'm talking to. Talking to you. We have a nonverbal communication. We can carry a show on without saying a word.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Got the all-seeing eye right above ours. Mr. Wells, what are you thinking?
Well, in reference to Hannibal's question in terms of the or statement in terms of mineral rights and land rights, I believe it was 2008. I went to Washington, D.C. with Eric Kanakaoli and Ed Kaivi. And we went there to establish on paper the mineral rights of the Hawaiian people. And they told us that we had to go to Sacramento because they control the Western territories. So we went there and we filed the mineral rights and water rights for the Hawaiian people. So there is that's that that's real in the sense of paperwork. Enforcing it is more of a challenge, but nevertheless, we did file their rights of the Hawaiian people. Yeah, because you can come to Hawaii and you won't even see a Hawaiian.
Mm.
What kind of shit is that?
What do you mean by that, bro?
You come to Hawaii and there are different towns where there's commerce going on, businesses and what have you, and all you see is tourists.
Mm.
You know, and they act like this is this is their land, this is their vacation playland. Okay, but Hawaii was one of the more recent countries, kingdoms that was taken over by the United States government. Okay, and remember, you always got to follow the drugs, right?
Mm.
So when we go back in time, right, the number one drug, the number the crack of those times,
Liquor.
and still is for that matter, is sugar.
Oh, sugar.
Okay, so you had sugar, you had tobacco, and you had the king, which is cotton.
King cotton.
Okay, and then in the Caribbean you had rum. Okay, so all of these substances, other than cotton, obviously, is an addictive glue, right? Because you have to understand there's some who are only interested in profit. They don't care about people or none of that. It's just all about the profit. Okay, so that's key for us to look at. And in the previous session that we had, one is urged to go back and see what specifically they took from you, because that will give you an idea of how they intend to proceed.
Mm.
Hmm?
Hey,
Because
brother, that's powerful right there, man.
because they are truly a one-trick pony.
Mm.
Oof.
Truly, they they only see it one way. Yeah. So within all of this, somehow we must keep our sweetness. So one of the things that Donnie had said on the previous session was about the pain of us losing our music, or specifically losing our love music.
We ain't playing no
Okay.
love music no more. It's
Okay.
BBB, MF, 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 kill, 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 stab, stab, stab.
So that's why you see, okay, sometimes you have to struggle, right, to get a smile out of our people,
Right.
right? Okay. Well, that's new. Okay. When I was growing up, everybody was looking out for each other, trying to make it happen, right? The other thing we have to look at in terms of our indigenous roots, obviously these are just words, but you know what I mean, is that our relationship to music, at least from my research, okay, was serious. This funny, ha ha American bandstand bullshit or whatever. This is this is not our relationship to music and sound. Is more cosmic and more healing. Okay, so now in this new age, or in terms of the cosmos, we have other challenges, but we can't forget our roots, because our roots are still with us and we are the ancestors. Okay, We're the only ones walking around with it. So we are the ancestors, so we have to access that strength. Okay.
I want to say one thing to elaborate off you, like I told Donnie in the previous show, how I know that those people that they're telling us Indians aren't the real Indians, because the land does not vibrate with them in a frequency that allows them to have rhythm. The Amish has more rhythm than these people who say that they're Native Americans.
Well, I think that I agree with that. I think that you have to understand that the colonizers, okay, their greatest asset is divide and conquer. And one of the ways they do that is they execute their own definition of who's who and what's what. Yeah. So we must. This is our work. This is literally our work, to put the pieces back on the train, on the track, because right now we way off the track.
Okay, are you folks familiar with Sarah Rector? How about
Yeah,
you, Moses Sola?
Creek Nation.
Most definitely.
That's the
Yep.
Creek Nation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Richest black girl in the world, melanated, copper skin.
They kidnapped her, right? She was like 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
No, she inherited land rights.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the U.S. government assigned her, and Mike Lane brought this out when he was on the show. Gave her white parents. They didn't think the black people had the capacity to manage. And I want to go back to that. We touched on this in the beginning, where this government has a way of demonizing anybody it's getting ready to go after. If you look at Osama bin Laden, if you look at Gaddafi, if you looked at who's the guy down there in down south, Nicaragua, the drug kingpin.
Fidel,
climbing a tunnel underground.
Oh yeah.
Whoever this government goes after,
El Chapo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They demonize you. That's the first thing they do. And they have demonized. They call us savages.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
You fed babies, black melanated copper babies,
The alligator.
alligators. You're lynching, and you just lynched. You just lynched this week.
Well, I mean, they was also eating us, the delectable Negro. They were eating us too. Like
Mumia.
has anyone ever seen the movie Young Guns?
Yeah.
Well, it's a few things that Lou Diamond Phillips, if you catch that movie, a few messages are in there. But one thing that he said before they were about to partake in the peyote, he said that in their Indian traditions, when they lose their way, they consult the ancestors.
There you go.
And
There
you're
you go.
suggesting where you going with this?
Yeah.
Well, we were always spiritual people. We never needed anyone to really intervene to tell us how we connect to the creator, the divine, or whatever you connect with. We've always been, it's been like Mr. Wells said, it's been in our nature. We are connected to the land. We have a relationship with land. It's natural. And they wanted to demonize that. They call it witchcraft and all these different things. Our ancestors have been connected to us throughout generations. They have helped us learn natural medicines. They have helped us get through so many different things, and even our survival till this day. We are remembering who we are. We are remembering, and everyone is waking up. And they try to basically silence that with psychological warfare, and they're doing it even more with the social media, as they're constantly flooding us with nonsense, and with the interjection of AI, where they are also giving us misinformation. So it's really hard for us to, like, at this moment, is really practicing discernment on what is good information. And I think, Mr. Wells, you talked about frequency in regards to our connection with sound. If we talk about like the blues, any form of music, really there's a connection with us. That was how we were connected spiritually, through sound, through dance, through rhythm, even in our DNA. You can be in Africa or in the Native America and you can see almost the same movements, the
Absolutely.
same connection. It lives in our DNA. You know, that's something we can't deny, you know. And we always ask us, when's the last time you sang? When's the last time you danced? Like back in the day, we used to dance. We used to do all those different things. It didn't matter where we were going. We were singing. Even in the roughest times, we would come together and we would sing. We don't do that as much as we used to. And that is a lot. That was also our spiritual energy, which they're slowly sucking the humanity out of us. I wanted to mention this book called Behold, the Pale Horse.
Yeah.
That book really just talks about the psychological warfare and how they've been using frequencies for years to basically, manipulate us through sound. So the underbed of the sound, and you notice the shifting of how we were doing a lot of like positive music back in the day. Or even let's look at Strange Fruit, where Billie Holiday basically used that as her platform to warn our people. We used it as a war cry. It was a war cry to alert our people. We used it as a way for spirituality, but now, and we also used it to educate our people because they've been trying to silence us for years, but we've used song and music to educate ourselves through that. Even if you were illiterate, it was the song that was able to teach. Even if you weren't in academia, they used to say it could have been like a rhyme or something like that for children to learn. But they have basically been trying to subliminally, it was small little interjections of using frequencies to basically manipulate us and brainwash us through the years. But people are starting to wake up and people are starting to realize that we're going back to the root. All this other consumerism that they're trying to like brainwash, it's nonsense, but that's what I was talking a little bit too much.
Yeah.
This is a great time. This is a great time for you to plug your wellness practice. Tell them what you do.
Oh, okay. So I'm a wellness architect. So I focus on a lot of trauma-informed wellness, especially ancestral connections. I'm a medium. I also do a lot of work for so basically epigenetics. We carry a lot of trauma through generational trauma. So looking at like wombs, like how children are affected, if we can do intervention with healing the mother or before she is able to have then maybe we can stop the trauma before that. So that's the research I'm doing. And also like the connection of wellness that we did as Black people, because sometimes we weren't given the luxury of what they call wellness, of going and doing this stuff, because a lot of the white men or white women had that because they had money. But at the same time, Black people did do their form of wellness through doing their hair, the form of creating community. They separated the Black families. That was our form of care and community. When we looked out for each other in the neighborhoods, even the gangs used to look out for each other in the neighborhoods. Even when we were coming through slave trade, like there were certain things we kept that was like even heirlooms that were a form of wellness for us. Even our agriculture, our relationship with land, how we know certain things and we feel in our intuition, that was a form of care. So just looking at preserving that, because we're losing that, because now that they're removing all of the archives, we like, just like Mr. Will, we are the ancestors now. We are the ancestors now, and we have to continue to tell the truth and the real information, because they're like covering that up with AI, and now they're using all of the search engines like Google. Google works for the feds, and they basically can manipulate all of the history that we've known. The true orators, the true historians, and I call them scholars, were in the kitchen when our grandmother was cooking the food and telling us the stories. They just didn't have like the patents, or they didn't have the paperwork, but we were doing this for years. When we were sitting on the stoop and braiding the hair, when you sat on the stoop and the elders sat around and they told you stories about the Moors and all those different things, that was the wisdom and that was the education. But my focus is preserving that stuff, and also the connection through like Nigeria, because I'm Nigerian, and looking at connection like Bahia in Brazil and how
Mhm.
we're connected, looking at Puerto Rico and all these different places, like there's an intersection of how all of us are connected. Have you ever been someplace outside of the US that feels like home?
Mhm.
Finding those things like that deja vu isn't really deja vu, like somewhere in your DNA you've been there and finding that connection. So that's a little I focus on basically wellness and allowing us to heal mentally, spiritually, and physically and emotionally, because we never truly had that safe space to heal, especially as Black people.
Mm.
We'd like to
Donnie.
welcome to the show my Morehouse brother, going back 40 years, Robert Scott.
Hello, hello. How's everyone doing?
All right.
Hi.
All right.
Hey, how
All
you
right.
doing?
Sorry I'm
Uh,
late.
so yeah. So Donnie.
Yes.
So you know, there was a comment that came across the thing, it moved so fast, right? Those who identify as Native American, right? I was blessed to be invited to the return of the Ghost Dance
Mm.
in Red River in 2000. I think it was no, it was maybe 99 or 98, and it was the first time that that sacred dance had been done. Um, and it was in Canada, and it was cold, but but those people had definitely had rhythm. There's no question about that. I just want to state that for whoever the cat was that
Oh,
ran that. Now,
I said that. I
okay,
said that.
going back to um, there's an idea, you know, and Hannibal, you might be able to help me with this. There's an idea called manifest destiny.
Mm.
Okay. Now, my understanding of it is, I don't know, it may be incomplete. However, it seemed to be the excuse for being able to treat us any way they wanted to. Back to the Donnie's, the comment of the labeling us as savages, okay? Because it doesn't form within their premise of manifest destiny. So that's why they don't consider us human, fully human.
Mhm.
Okay, this is where they coming from. Okay, that's the roots of them.
It's the
How can a
justified
savage
cruelty.
call somebody else inhuman?
It's the
You're a
justified in
savage.
cruelty.
Correct.
You're a savage. You get no say in this.
Correct.
You're an abuser. You're a domestic violence abuser, sir. Go to treatment. Come back in 60
Okay.
days. Give us an update.
Okay.
I guess we
So I
got a
So
guest coming in. Little Day, you going?
How you
Little
guys?
Day, you're in the line. How you doing?
How y'all guys doing? Y'all all right?
all right. All
yeah,
right.
Yes,
how you
thank you
doing,
for
buddy?
joining us.
You welcome, man.
What's your thoughts? You gonna school us? You gonna educate us? Don't beat me up because I'm too old to get beat up. Robbie, tell one other thing. Les, you went through the
Where'd he
wellness.
go?
He'll come back, but everybody is welcome here. Lush, one of the things you touched on earlier that I want to make sure you get in, you talked about the Gullah Islands. I'm going to ask you that, and then we're going to let Robbie introduce some of his thoughts. You remember we talked about the Gullah Islands earlier? You did? Tell them what you said.
Well, we talked about the Gullah Islands, and I was just finding out like so much of the connections that are down there in the Gullah Geechee Islands, where there's this so-called disconnect. But these people came down here, and there's still some deep connections to roots to indigenous that they carried on in that area. And I'm finding like there's a lot of connections with the Caribbean, with Africa, in the Gullah land, even their dialect that they use. There's several, they're spread out in different areas and they speak different dialects, and seeing those influences. So I think there's even more stuff that as there's more research coming, that there's more things that are being uncovered about the richness of that culture too. And we'll find that a lot of us are connected and they were very powerful, and also connecting to like some of the things that were happening in Haiti too. Just finding a lot of those different and some of the characteristics in the form of the Geechee people. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were talking about manifest destiny, and that goes back. You know, we've been talking about people's perspective on religion and all that type stuff. Have you guys ever seen the first Great Seal of the United States of America? It's like a seal of Moses walking out of Egypt,
Okay.
and
Mm-hmm.
that made me thought about that manifest destiny that gives them the arrogancy to think that God gave them the right to do what they want.
Right.
You know, and we'll get caught up on what they think. You know, my vision now is just to move straight ahead. We got like Mr. Wells was saying, we got to put this train back on the track. So I believe that we'll waste time, but we got to reflect, but we got to somehow put this train on the track,
Absolutely.
recognize what happened. But listen, one of the meetings
I got a question. Like, as a mixed dude, can I still say the N-word and stuff like that? Or is like that's not allowed?
I don't even use the N-word. I haven't used it in about
We
16
prefer
years.
not use it on.
And so I can't say nigga or nothing like that.
Why?
Well, it's just out of respect, because as I was trained, when we have the airwaves, we are to honor it. I was
Right.
trained by this elder lady. She's long gone. Her name was Mary Carter Smith, and she reiterated the significance of us having some class.
Right.
If you feel you need to use it, brother, we welcome you to the family. Do your thing.
It's a bit. I appreciate y'all niggas for real. Yeah, I like with y'all.
Got you.
Cool.
Got you.
Like, for real.
Got you.
Let me just talk about why I don't use the word.
Mm-hmm.
It gives respect to our people and our ancestors. See, there's a disconnect that's there, and we don't even realize that we're like caught up in this crazy bubble and not even realizing who we are. I mean, you just can't take us and minimize us and use the name that they use to vilify us and say you're going to flip it and make it positive altogether. I don't care if your name is Jay-Z or what. We can communicate without that. You sit there and monetize that name or that term, and that term doesn't do anything but burn our ancestors. And that's just from the heart. Now, I don't care if anyone uses it. I got family members that use it. I don't use it. That's just purely out of respect.
Yeah, we was talking
And
about
it may be something that he feels serious about, let's say with
His biracial situation or his Native American influence or whatever, that someone can say something that's disrespectful. We don't even need to go there. It's not even that important.
Yeah, we're
That's
talking
my
about vibrations. Yeah,
Right.
vibrations.
There you go.
That just bring that vibration. You got, I think, I got sons, they use it. And like, I try to tell them, hey, other people is watching us. It might be good amongst us, but the world is watching us. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't care how the world look at us, then, hey, you can accept that vibration. I want the world to look at me higher than a nigga.
Right.
I can understand where you're coming from, the camaraderie of it, where it stems from, but we beyond that now. It's 2025 now.
Look, there's an elephant in the room.
And the elephant in the room is being called out. Part of it is that wokeism. When they start saying woke, what's woke? Woke is us waking up to all of the lies. Woke is us waking up to the fact that they gave us a slave Bible.
Arnie Punching told you.
And wokeism is the beginning of it all. Now we're beginning to see the real white supremacists.
It's coming out of them. We just sitting back. We're not even a part of it. But if you sit back and watch what's going on, you see them fighting among each other now. It took one of them
Say that
to
again.
take one of them out.
Say that again.
Say that again.
They are fighting who?
Amongst each other.
Now, it's interesting you say that. I say that because so often when we have our in-group discussions, invariably somebody will say, we the only people who don't get along. And that's a lie. That means you got to get outside of your community, get an airline ticket, and go see some other people's.
Yes.
Because ain't no people on the planet Earth where everybody get along. None.
It's like the black on black crime thing.
Absolutely.
Black on black crime
Absolutely.
is proximity.
Exactly.
White on white crime is the same. Asian on Asian crime is the same. If you live in that same community or proximity, it's going to be the same. But here's the elephant in the room. I talked about this the last time I was here.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the elephant in the room. Give you some dates, give you some numbers. You can look them up yourself. In 1918, the global percentage of white people or European people in 1913.
According to who?
According to the statistics that you can pull up.
Okay.
According
you pull
to
them up.
According to them.
Tell me wrong. Was 34% of the global population. As of Donnie, if you don't want me to go there, I won't go there.
I'm clapping to Tony's comment.
Today, they make up 13% of the global population, and that's what the issue is. If an Asian and a white woman marry and have a child, that child becomes an Asian. If a black man and a white woman marry and have a child, that becomes a black child. By their own definition, they seem to be recessive. Their numbers are dwindling. They're 13% of the global population. Now, they do control a whole hell of a lot of wealth, but what they control is the mind right now. We don't realize that they're only 13% of the global population, 744 million people in Europe, and there's 4.5 billion people in Asia. There's 1.5 billion people in Africa. We are seeing this change called Sahel. It was one country, Burkina Faso. It became 3. Now, as of this week, 13. Look at France's economy. They sent them home. They've been burning France, let's say in the uranium mines, for so long that they own the equipment. The gold mines, the Africans actually own the equipment. So what Sahel did was send all of the managers home. Go. And now you see roads being built. You see them seeing how much their gold was worth. It's happening there. It's going to affect us here. What's going to happen soon is not only France, but the rest of Europe, NATO, or let's say the Berlin Conference, that's what got them down there making all that money. They're going to have to soon respond. And the United States is a part of that Western bloc that has stuff down there. The pressure's going to be on us. So in the belly of the beast, we need to be cohesive. We need to be together because it's going to come down.
You made a good point right there with everything that's going on with the Charlie Kirk situation. I was just talking to my cousins and I said, I was in the Marine Corps. So I'm looking at it from a strategic advantage. Keep our comments to ourselves, make our plan, and let's make our move. Like you said, they fighting amongst themselves. Yeah. So they're distracted about what we're doing. I'll leave it like that.
I want to say something right quick. Well, the first thing, an old man told me a long time ago that if a white man was being swallowed up by quicksand, he'll be more concerned with what we're doing other than saving himself. The second thing is I think that we give unnecessary amount of power to the white glove instead of the black hand that's under the white glove. So we all of this time we have been thinking that it was this Caucasoid who was the mastermind behind this whole operation, but we have to realize that it wasn't too long before they started coming over here that they had just came out of the dark ages. So now they can't pop up out of the dark ages and go conquer the entire world without help of masterminds. So who are these masterminds and whatever happened to them? So they was intelligent and strategic enough to hide behind the curtains and put the white boy out there as the crash dummy for all the arrows to be pointed his way. So this white boy who we think is intelligent, as even though he has gained intelligence over the years, but he still bows down to a black Madonna child for a reason.
Absolutely.
So now this black Madonna child is only the representative of the dirty black hand that's been controlling the puppet strings all along.
Now that might be, could you clarify on that? Because that might go across a lot of people's head as they ain't really in depth on some knowledge about history with the European and maybe the Islamic Moors and stuff like that. So could you explain a little bit more?
Well, we're dealing with a priesthood of black people who were Scots. They were Irish. They were down in Greece, known as Equestrians. They were in Egypt. And they maneuvered all the way to Spain, and those were the ones who were in control of Spain, but got kicked out by Queen Isabella. They were masterminds. They were alchemists. These dudes were highly intelligent, and even though they try to make it look like the people over here were primitive when they got here, that's a bunch of hogwash.
It's a lie.
We had castles, we had irrigation systems, we had everything that they had over there, but we was just chilling. But see, the Caucasoid, he had just crawled up out of the dark ages, you know, for damn near an entire 800 years. So how can he possibly come up out of that type of savagery? Because if you do the history, when they came over here, they weren't nothing but a bunch of alcoholics.
Yep.
No, it was all convicts, right? You know,
they were all convicts. They weren't the elite of, you know.
Yeah, there was people that was in jail, debtors. You know what I'm saying? When England was trying to go against Spain and France, England emptied the jails. You know, they were scallywagging folks, knocking people over the not scallywagging, Shanghai, and that's what they call it, so knocking people over the head, putting them in slavery. So you didn't have the best people. That's why they were so brutal to us. A lot of them was on death row. Murderers, killers, rapists. So we was,
that's all they were.
So, like you said, we was in the, we still are in the belly of the beast, but our ancestors really was in the fire. You know, so that's why I do my genealogy as a nod to them and thanking them for doing what they did to get me here now. You know,
but they were fighting, man.
Oh,
they were kicking ass. Like up here in Chicago, the Sioux. You had the Sioux. You had the Blackhawks, the Fight in the Illini. You know, you had a bunch of tribes of people that looked like us, had nappier than I was, man. They wasn't playing, man. They was kicking ass and taking names.
And
you know, the same with Shaka Zulu.
The whole country was full. They try to make you feel like it was a small amount of them. No, there's a whole country full of them, native to this country, and Africans that were more native to the country than the people that came across that land bridge.
Yeah, but that white boy that we keep on giving power to, he was always the glove that got the dirt without the black hand under the glove being seen. So he in himself never held any real power other than our consent. But he had a mastermind pulling the puppet strings all along. Like I said the other day, every time one of them say, "Oh, I'm an American," they don't know that they're calling themselves Moors.
And boy, do they deny that.
They're your shrine of the Black Madonna, Robbie.
I see it. Beautiful. Absolutely.
Here
I
in
want to
Detroit. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to go back quickly to the brother that was on that was talking about biracial. Okay, now in the experience in particularly in the Americas, but it's also global. There was a lot of raping. There was a lot of romance, even in some cases, right? That created different shades of people, right? Of our own people, right? Now the thing is that when we're talking about consciousness, right? Let's say personal consciousness, okay? The personal consciousness, one has um, a quality that of choice. Okay, so if you, for the young brother, if you find yourself, of which you seem to be, geared, generating that black consciousness, right? Because remember, these vessels that we're in are temporary. So who are you outside of your vessel? So do you align yourself, what, for lack of, the fallacy of the English language, we're going to just call it black consciousness. So if you with that, you with it. You with it. So I embrace you, brother.
What I wanted to say to him is that I don't use the word in public because I don't want to give anyone the
Absolutely.
permission to think it's okay to say to me. If you don't hear me using it and you come to me with it, then I got the right to
Because you can see how the other dimension, the other people are trying to make it a popular word. Newscasters is getting ready to use it in a minute.
yeah. And
That's
that's what I
real.
think
That's
I
real.
think the young generation doesn't see. If I
Correct.
use it loosely, I'm saying it's okay. And I'm still from that generation, although I ain't the wildcat I was as a young person,
Yeah.
but I might haul off and smack somebody.
Right. Here's a
I'm
dynamic. I don't want to tangent off of the same thing you guys are talking
don't
about.
want to.
Here's a dynamic I want y'all to think about.
Well, hold tight, Robbie.
Wait.
I need Big Broad to describe this picture.
So that's the Mandinka tribe over there in Africa. But if you notice that they look like Native Americans, so I'm gonna show the connection with them and the Delaware Moors. So if you know anything about the Delaware Moors, they speak the same language. They got some words in their language really similar to those from Guinea or Guinea. Or
let me slow you down, Big Bro. I have no idea. You got to talk to us like we first grade. You got to educate us. Don't assume we know nothing.
Okay. So like I said, this is a picture of Mandinka warriors over there in Nigeria or Guinea.
Our cousins.
Our cousins. I'm making the connection between these people and the Delaware Moors or the Lenape Native Americans or the Illinois, because the Lenape on the East Coast are the Illinois in the center of the state. I'm making a connection with them. If you look at the Delaware Moors indigenous language, they got Fulani words or Mandinka words, or like especially their number system. The Delaware Moors and the Mandinkas and the Fulani number systems is the same words. And here go another word for like Cherokee. The Cherokee is called Tasalagi, Tsalagi. They're also known as Tasaragi, Tsaragli. And the Tasaragi, the same name as Cherokee, are located in Nigeria.
Yeah, Big Brother, help me out. How do we know Tasaragi equals Cherokee? You haven't brought
So
that to me.
because in the Cherokee language and over in Africa, it means cave dweller. Same meaning. The Cherokee lived in caves here. They lived in caves over there. So if that's why I'm saying if we dive deeper, we would see it is connections between the continents. You know, I think that right now is a spirit of separation because we coming to find ourselves, but I think it's a cohesiveness. You know, I believe that they was trading and they was doing things thousands of years ago, and we are the manifestation of that trade that was going on.
Come on, Robbie.
Oh, I had two things noted. That one just slipped me, but I want to go back to the first thing that that I had noted, and it had to do, and it kind of it'll bump off of this too. It had to do with we were talking about the Gullah, right? I'm from South Carolina, not from South Carolina. My mom was born in South Carolina. I was born in Maryland, but my family's from South Carolina. My wife and I did some travel on that coastal area. We went down to St. Simon's Island. And St. Simon's Island is where the story of the Ibu landing comes from. Are you guys familiar with the Ibu landing? Yes. That's when when the Ibu brothers, probably about 20 or so of them, came onto St. Simon's Island, and they were being shackled to be enslaved. They got together when they finally got a chance to get together. They came together, they prayed, and they said that they were not going to die slaves here, that their souls would take them back home. And and they walked into the water together in their chains. White people just going, tripping out at the fact that they were doing that. And it's a story that's been around a long time. Beyonce did I think in that Lemonade CD that she did a tribute to them. They even did a video of the girls walking into the water, Ibu landing. I say that to say the Ibu, deep.
Are you saying Igbo? Igbo?
Like
Igbo in Nigeria?
Same thing. Yes, in Nigeria.
Yes, it's Igbo.
Igbo.
Yes.
Igbo. It's spelled Igbo. IGBO.
Well,
Igbo. Okay,
anyway.
so these same people to this day, the Igbo that are Hebrew, always have been Hebrew. Jewish, straight up Jewish, came over here, brought it over here. So our people, man, I mean, you talk about that connection. She was talking about that Gullah Island area. The Igbo came there. We brought the first Hebrews to this country. And the Hebrews are us. The Hebrews were black, West African black, dark-skinned black. They take the history and they change it to just try to make themselves a part of it. How in the world is, I'm not even going to go there. I was about to go into the Bible, but how in the world could they be a part of something that went on in that dark part of the country, a part of the world?
So that's a great segue to Horace, what you have been talking about. And I want you to make sure you get that in today. Your understanding, and this is above my pay grade. I am a journalist, but you have brought out the metaphysics, the covering up of our pyramids, putting trash on them, turning them into toxic waste dumps, and you're saying you suggest that other people are connecting with our ancestors instead of us.
True indeed. Because like I said, Mother Nature is feeble. Our ancestors are feeble. If we are not contacting our ancestors and Mother Nature, but we are focused on these religious theologies, then other people who want to control our energies are contacting those particular things because they know that that's where our power lies and the power of the universe lies. But I wanted to say something real quick in regards to the words nigger. I think that the younger generation are in tune with semantics as well as the genealogy of the word, because we have the word Naga and we also have the word Negus. And if you listen to an African person, when they say nigga, they don't say nigga like we said in America. They say nigga. And that means sovereign king or king in Ethiopia.
Actually, Kendrick Lamar talking about Negus on one of his albums.
It Negus, you know, and the Naga relates to the Kundalini energy. And it's a group of people called Nagas, but when it's come to dealing with the chakra system, it's the root chakra, the cobra chakra, the fire that goes up to the top of the head. And just so far as the connection between us and the rest of the people around the world, that connection has always been there. And it always came out through the feathers, through the spears, through the dances, through the structures of the pyramids or the housing. So our connection worldwide before the event of this this weed that's growing in the grass, we always had a connection, man. And they're the ones who turned us against each other or separated us. But if we would have came here 1,000 or 2,000 years ago, man, we could probably telepathically communicate with one of our cousins in Australia or Madagascar or Nigeria or any other part of the planet where the original people were at. So there's no distinction, you know, between us and our customs and a lot of things, but that distinction was a strategy to disconnect us from who we are. So we've been here, man, so many millions and trillions and billions of years that I think that we seem to forget our numbers. We are infinite, man. When we look up in the stars and see those stars in the sky, we looking at ourselves and our
How y'all
ancestors.
feel about this lynching the other day? What y'all think we should do about that?
Right now, with the climate that we have in this country, watch what happens. People are just going to be silent because there's nobody there that has our favor. Now we really feel what it feels like to be 12% of the population. No bull. Now we feel what it feels like. We together help the liberal of them out, mostly in this country. We outnumber tremendously the conservative in this country. But the conservative was smart enough to use white supremacy, which even touches that liberal guy. Because ultimately, that liberal guy don't always lose. We lose. I think what we can do now is let them destroy themselves. That's right where they are right now. And be quiet while Africa is building. Because I'm telling you, it's going to start touching us. There's going to be some countries where the U.S. does business in. If they get to the Congo, we all have problems. Because the Congo can
This
cut
makes the
off
most
all our
sense right here.
batteries, all of our cell phones, all of the things that we use for technology. They're trying their best to stay in a certain relationship with the Congo because the Congo has the most out of everything.
Yeah, that's why they got empty cities. Like you guys seen them empty cities like China, them building Africa. There's nothing but empty cities. You know, the United States got a lot of military bases over there now. In the 90s, we didn't have bases too much over there. You know, when I was over there in like 92, 93 in Somalia, we ain't had too many bases, but it's a whole bunch of bases now. And like you said, what is it, cobalt or whatever they use?
Yes. Here's the crazy thing. They can't go crazy bombing because if they destroy what's already open and they pulling billions out, they're hurting themselves. That's what the Africans realized. They waited until they owned all of the equipment so that the Europeans can't even say, well, no, we're going to take our equipment they can't do anything with them. They now can say all financial deals are over. I just saw, not Mali, but the other, Niger, the one with the uranium. They were getting $1 per however metric ton they were taking out. They just raised it to $200, a 200% increase.
Wow.
Now, go check out France. Go look at France.
It's bankrupt, right? And they nearly bankrupt?
Bankrupt, going crazy. And all of the European countries are sitting there like, because they all, in the Berlin Conference, cut up Africa, took their little pieces, did what they could. You know, the Italians got whipped by Ethiopia. Ethiopia never got colonized, but everybody else got colonized because every country there, it's the richest land in the world. It is the core. If you look at continental divide, everything's breaking away from Africa and moving. Africa is the center, the core. And that's what all of the riches are. Gold is a UFO. Gold does not come from this planet. Gold comes from another planet. It came to our planet in crashes and explosions from meteors and wherever that gold was developed. So that's why they find it in layers. And it's come over thousands of years, and it's been there for a while. And when they find them, they see those little layers, they know how to go down and get that stuff. Because gold does not come from this. It was never developed on the earth. It came from somewhere else. Diamonds are developed here out of pressure. And it's most of it's there.
I seen something on them talking about going on spaceships and mining them meteorites out in the space, getting the platinum and getting the gold and all that.
And they want to dig up the moon. Tell them leave the damn moon alone.
We need the moon. That's our gravity.
What idiot goes digging up the moon? Okay, Tommy Baby wants us to put this up here. I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just, that his justice cannot sleep forever, that considering numbers, nature, and natural means only a revolution, the wheel of fortune, and exchange of situation is among possible events, that it may become probable by supernatural interference, the Almighty has no attribute which can take side with us. I'm not sure what all of that means. I guess I'm slow. We'd like to welcome to the show, Life. Life, welcome to the show. How you doing?
What's going on, elders?
Hey, how y'all doing? How you doing, Life?
We all elders, but doing? You got to call Mr. Wells.
I like that name. Life, I like that name.
Yeah, absolutely.
So help us out, Life. Come on with it. You got the floor. Where you from?
Hold on, let me get my lighting right.
And Rob, before you go, we got to ask you about Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, Life. You got the floor.
He's having some issues with his communication.
I'm seeing these comments here. Do y'all associate with that? I mean, I know Mosey Soul. I know you and I love Africa. I know I do. Robbie, I know you love Africa. Do you gentlemen, are you okay with? I'm troubled when we say, "Oh, I can't." I can buy even that Pan-Africanism was dumped on us. I can buy that, but I can't buy after 60 years of living that I'm supposed to disconnect from the people I know throughout the diaspora, not just the continent. I mean, here's a pop quiz for you, and it hit me in the mouth like a bag of bricks. For all this time, even myself, I have been saying the largest population of Black people outside of Africa is
Brazil.
No,
Brazil.
India.
Yes,
Those are
you're right. You're
right.
Absolutely right.
Those are Dravidians.
100%.
Right. Nor
100%.
But I'm gonna tell you,
that's
The
man,
first
those
migration,
Indians, they really
I,
don't like us.
But I
yeah,
mean,
but
They
you
they,
know
don't like
what? They're
themselves.
educating
I mean,
themselves too.
I'm just
They,
racist.
you
So,
know who got to them? The British.
The
correct.
British, the
I
They
mean,
same
don't want us.
problem.
well, the
And you know
British
what the British
colonized
did?
Nigeria
The
too.
British broke up that whole area by trying to separate them based on religion, culture. That's why there was one India. Now there's an India, a Pakistan, and a Bangladesh.
But
All the
also,
same people.
but also
All the same people.
the caste system has also caused a big
Yes,
detriment. Also,
Absolutely.
absolutely. But you know what? They're going away from it. These Indians you see come over here, most of them are South Indians, software developers. Their
Right.
parents spent all their money they can. They will mortgage their lives to get these kids through
Dravidians.
these
Yeah.
technical situations, these technical majors, and then they wind up marrying whoever they want. The caste don't mean anything. I got a friend here. He's from India. I said to him, "Man, you married a Brahmin. That's way up caste. That's the top."
yeah, that's the top.
He said, "I make more money than her father and her brothers. It was no problem. We hook right up." So the caste system doesn't mean as much unless you live out in the
If
countryside. In the
I mean,
cities, it doesn't mean that much.
it still means a lot in the cities. I mean, in India is still caused a whole bunch of detriment. But when you come to the U.S. and if
Yes.
you're showing up and you have the money and stuff, they don't care about the caste system when you're outside of India. But it does definitely causes a whole bunch of discourse with a lot of people when it comes to a lot of people are trying to break away from it, but it is still rooted, especially with the elders back in India. It's serious, and a lot of them still hold like political like control over people too in India.
In the small towns. In the cities, it's like here. And a lot of people don't pay attention to it. They just I'm the younger people. The ones that will call you, the ones that call us the N-word, the younger people, it doesn't mean as much to them. I teach probably 5 Indian people, individual people a week. Bangladesh, Pakistan.
What's the point,
Uh, uh,
Robbie?
yeah,
What's the
we
point?
say.
What's the point?
My point is that the caste system, yes, it still has some meaning, but it's nowhere near like it used to be.
Oh,
At one
you're right
time,
about that.
you used to could only marry within your same caste. Now the lowest caste can marry the highest caste because
If you have
they're
money
educated. They're making
and you're
six
If you have
educated,
figures
money.
in every country they go to because they
Okay, let,
software
let,
engineers.
let life let life come on in. Come on in, life. Just don't talk about my mama. That's the house rule, okay?
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I wanted to say something real quick to a point that was just made about the meteors and stuff like that. All right, we're all familiar with our religions, Christianity, Judaism, right? Islam. Well, I
This
was
podcast, I have to
study.
hit you back.
I was doing some study, right? And I found that there was a huge connection to be made between volcanoes
Antonio.
and dragons. And the connection that I was making between the dragons and or the concept of dragons, it initially came between
I'm not
understanding
hearing
the
audio.
the propensity for people to generally connect the Hebrew language to fire in a symbolic way. You always hear about the fire language. Well, when you look at this religion we call Judaism, um, there had always been this weird connection between uh, what we call God or the Elohim and volcanoes,
Damn.
volcanic, eruptions. And I want to say gold doesn't just come from meteors. We find gold in we find gold from volcanic matter after it settles. So what I'm really trying to say is that we live in a bubble where we believe that our economic value is coming from somewhere outside of our environment, when really we should go back to our old ways of being able to manipulate, because the planet is like a natural alchemical system. We got a limbic that we call the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire is kind of like a limbic or just a, alchemical setup. I believe personally in the past, we had a very grounded understanding of metalwork, different types of craft, because we had been on this planet for so long dealing with these goddamn volcanoes that we started ascribing different metaphysical and spiritual symbolisms to fire, time, chemicals, transmutation. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Following you, man.
I think that, when it comes to like conversations about, because a lot of this stuff, a lot of these problems we're having, man, is that these white folks is just in the way of our economic success. Not even just black people's success, but their own. You know what I'm saying? And they're blocking our, our ability to continue to pass down wisdom from generation to generation, blocking their own shit. You feel me? And going to war, all this white on white crime and stuff like that. So I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been repping this FBA stuff. And, a lot of the younger folks is probably going to start doing that because, we not finna. I'm 33, by the way. I just turned 33 on September 6th. My name is Dorian Dean, Dorian Christopher Dean. I was born in California, Pasadena, Crown of the Valley, south of the Mojave Desert. And all those details are kind of weird, and they're important in a weird way. And that's the only reason I bring them up. But, in terms of this indigenous stuff, it's going to keep being a conversation to be brought up. And I don't really know the topic. Y'all was, because I just came back from Eden. So my bad if I'm kind of all over the place, but I just wanted to say that about the volcanoes and our economy.
I'm proud of your life, Dorian.
Thanks.
I'm proud
Absolutely.
of you. We are proud of you. You're always welcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Teach me, show me something I don't know, and I might be able to show you something you don't know. We help each other. That's what I'm
Yes,
about.
sir. Matter of fact, if I can get one of y'all email, I've been using AI. I ain't gonna lie, I've been using AI to basically create a little grimoire, but it's not a typical grimoire. It's like a historical grimoire. You know what I'm saying? Where you could just copy paste the shit into there, and it's gonna tell you. It's using emojis to basically create a cipher, and each combo breaks down historical topics that they don't want to talk about. So I got about like 40 some different, 50 some different topics on there. If one of y'all send me an email, I can send you this grimoire for the free, because my thing is that the information got to get out, and we ain't finna be creating new leaders and dying over this shit. We just need to get this shit out,
Here's my email, big bro. Donnie at bmorenews.com. Send it to me, and I will certainly share it with the panel. We appreciate you stepping in.
Donnie with one N.
DONI at bmorenews.com. DONI at bmorenews.com.
Donnie, I wanted to respond to Life when he was talking
I got it.
Iron workers, Life. A lot of the iron workers back in the day had a lot of connection. You could see a lot of the iron workers that they brought in during slavery times, and you could see Sankofas put into like gates and different things like that. So there's a lot of the different spiritual connections. So, and you can find that across the Americas and in different locations. So you were right that through the ironwork, there was a deep spiritual connection on how we did the work that we did. So I just wanted to reference that.
Add this one to your list too, big bro. James 7 Ewing, like Patrick Ewing. James 7 Ewing at Gmail.
You know,
So they got a lot of that ironwork in South Carolina and Charleston, right at the port. So you'll see the ironworkers came there, and they got the little Masonic buildings, and so you'll see, like, you ever see the metal gates, and they had them intricacies. That's old slaves' codes or whatever. So you'll see that on the buildings in Charleston down there.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on the point in reference to gold coming from another planet.
Yes.
We create gold.
Hello? Can y'all hear
Yeah,
me?
man.
I can't hear
Yeah,
nothing,
gold.
man.
Yeah, gold is also.
We hear you. We hear you, Life. We do hear you. He can't hear us. Okay.
Yeah, gold is also a byproduct of our respiratory systems and our energies, just like we create fossil fuels and other minerals,
Yeah,
because
we are gold.
we
Yeah.
are gold. You know,
Mhm.
instead of it coming from elsewhere, you know, we don't understand that we are the gold there. But also, if you listen to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, he said that we're the cream of the planet Earth. So everything that's on this planet, if we can find our counterpart, you know, in our organs at the bottom of the ocean,
Mhm.
you know, in trees, you know, our man, you name it, man. But so far as gold coming from another planet, if you know anything about the Sumerian doctrine, that the Anunnaki came here in search for gold, and
Mhm.
according to their information, is that they wanted to use the organic people who are already here to mine the gold for them. So I'm not in agreement when gold is a foreign mineral from somewhere else, because it was here and we already are always creating it all the time. Man, our energy, we create oil too.
I gotta hit y'all with
All
this.
right. So let me address both of them. That's an easy one to address. He mentioned the Anunnaki, right? When gold came to this country, came to this world, when it hit this world, man didn't even exist. It was
I don't agree
before
with that,
these
brother.
were
We've always
explosions
been
and
here. There was never a time that we didn't exist. We are as infinite as the galaxies. We didn't just pop up according to some carbon 14 dating method, you know, 300, 400,000 years ago. No, sir, brother. We've been here for a number of years that you can't even count. You don't even
Well,
have a scale.
let me pose this.
hold on. How old do you think the Earth is?
It doesn't matter how old I think it is. You know, I'm telling you that if the Earth came about as a result of the Big Bang Theory, as soon as the bang formed, we came right out of the planet with it, just like the trees and everything else. That's why if you take a look at the trees and us, we're the same color as the trees. We're not Johnny come lately to this planet, man. We've been here.
What I can tell you is humans did not live on the Earth at the same time dinosaurs lived on the Earth.
Dinosaurs, that's a bunch of hogwash.
All right, so let me just put this out there. Hold tight. Y'all gave y'all
I
shot.
can't even go nowhere.
I gave you a
If that's
shot.
what we got, I'm gonna respectfully agree to disagree, and let's go to the next topic.
Only a small minority. This is in the Google AI. Only a small minority of enslaved Africans, 3 to 6%, were brought directly to North America.
That's right.
Do y'all buy that?
Yes, sir.
Latero says 1%. I believe it was Latero.
Well, I would agree, because what they have record of, 350,000 slaves were taken to North America. You said North America. You didn't say 5 million went to Brazil. And we know it's a whole lot more than that. We know that we were already here. But we're talking about that slave trade. Only 350,000 slaves were taken to North America. A whole lot of them probably left, but what made it here and got on the manifest, the 40 million, the 50 million African Americans in this country descend from those people and the Africans that were already here.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say the Africans that were already here, how could they be Africans?
Well, some of them came over when Mansa Musa came over. Some of them came over when the Olmec came over.
Well,
and guess where they came from? Guess where they came from?
I believe the
And
Olmecs
hold
came from
on,
here.
but check out the bones that were found. West African. I'm only going by, my grandmother had a book on her coffee table. It was, they came before Columbus.
Yep.
Ivan Van Sertima.
We
Ivan Van Sertima.
He was limited in his resources.
I'm not going to deal with conspiracy theories. I can only go by people who did the actual study. I'm not going to quote somebody who quotes conspiracy theories because I just don't go that way. You know, Donnie and I, you know, we were exposed to the Nile Valley Conference. People like Cheikh Anta Diop, Dr. Ben, Dr. John Henry Clark. I've seen them right in front of me. So I go for and I listen to and I adhere to scientific research. Not
just not to cut you off, brother, but the Olmecs were indigenous to the regions where the heads are found. They didn't migrate here; they were already here.
Let me tell you this: if you believe in the theory of continental divide or continental drift,
exactly,
the Americans broke off of Africa, and they find the same plumage and find the same plants and some of the same minerals that you find on the eastern coast of the Americas on West Africa's coast. Africa is the core. It's the beginning. The one thing that we have common on this earth, everybody who walks around and says that they are Homo sapien sapien, they carry the genetic markers of the San Bushmen. They come from Africa. Everybody, even the white folks. That's why they don't like to do that DNA stuff and be on TV with it anymore, because they couldn't understand why did they have 3, 4, 2% sub-Saharan African.
Well, those Caucasoids you talking about, they were direct.
Well, I'm not just talking about that. Let's not just go there, because that's.
Well, I mean, let me finish my statement.
In the minor, I'm saying everybody.
Okay, you talk. I'll let you talk.
Everybody. You know,
Robbie, let him talk, Robbie.
Okay.
Now, those Caucasoids you're talking about, for the most part, were created in a laboratory fashion out of recessive gene, out of one of the 3 genes, as well as the 16 different germs, the 3 germs, and the 16 different shades from black all the way to albino. And as far as the out of Africa theory is concerned, Turtle Island is named Turtle Island for a reason. This is the land of the ancient of days, where the original grids were used for the rest of the world to mimic after. That's why the pyramids in Africa are mimicked after the pyramids here. But we have been around for so long that by the time we made it to Africa, we were advanced technologically enough to build the pyramids with bricks to make them look like triangles. And the step pyramid of Djoser, which they claim is the oldest pyramid in the world, of 4,500 years old, is a bunch of garbage, because their step pyramids right here in Maryland, in Illinois, in New York, in New Jersey, that predates that particular pyramid by millions of years. So now everything was told in us to reverse. We were told that we came from Africa by the same people who colonized us. And there's a reason why they still want us to think we're from Africa.
Hold up, wait a minute. By the people who told us, we know where we come from.
Brother,
hold up, wait a minute.
It's a matter of doing the research on a cellular level, other than what Ivan Van Sertima and Dr. Ben and them said, who were limited at that particular time, because even if you study the oral sayings of Noble Drew Ali, he even said that we had been here for aeons, brother, not just, you know. And so I mean, but I think that once we close our minds off to the possibility, then we start limiting ourselves just based on what we think we know. But I mean, because at first, brother, I was in the same boat you was in 20 years ago until I started doing the search, man. And when you study our monuments that are here, they're mimicked in Africa. They're not mimicked
You're assuming that I think that the pyramids in Africa are the oldest. You're assuming that I think
I didn't say you, brother. I didn't say you.
Okay, well, wait a minute, but I don't think that. And when you go, we can't go by Egypt.
I'm not talking about Egypt, brother. I'm not talking about just Egypt.
Well, I'm telling you, you're talking about Africa, the pyramids in Africa. We're not.
Yeah, there's more pyramids.
I
in
know
Africa
there's more in
the
the Sudan than there are in Egypt. But
no, there are way more pyramids in other parts of Africa other than Egypt.
I understand that.
Okay, Rob, here's the question. Rob, here's a question
people.
for you from the guest. Can you prove that you are African? And
Yes.
Latero, thank you for being kind. Be nice.
Yes, I can prove that I'm African.
How so?
I've had my DNA taken. I can tell you what tribe that I come from in Africa. I'm Congo, Cameroon, and Nigerian.
Now, what if I tell you that these DNA companies are scammers?
I only dealt with the black one, but I do have Ancestry.com.
What's the black one?
I think it's 23andMe, if I'm not mistaken.
23andMe, please don't say them because they just got sued.
No, not that. What's the black one's name?
It's African DNA.
I did it all over Facebook with the black woman. What's her name?
African DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Carrie Kittles and the lady.
Yeah, the light-skinned sister. I forget her name.
I can conclude that we cannot agree on what the heck to call ourselves.
What I want is the empirical proof. I can actually base mine on scientific proof. All the other stuff, trust me.
Well, tell them about this.
Tell them about this picture way before the Europeans were here in the Americas.
Okay,
it's all there.
Tell them about this picture here.
The woman, she's a Hassan Bushman. Her DNA is the oldest on Earth. Plain and simple.
To who?
You can find her DNA in everybody. In you too. It's in you.
Science.
According to who though, brother?
Science. Scientists. They tested.
And ain't talking about just white scientists.
Imagine that.
Chinese scientists, African scientists, black scientists. It might not have been Noble Drew Ali, but it was some scientists.
He's on the man.
The only way we can get it is from scientists.
So when they talk about like
everybody you name from Noble Drew Ali, I follow them all and I respect and love them all.
Okay,
all the black people who are about our people. But I'm only going to deal with scientific proof.
Okay.
Okay. Well, so the way I look at it is the common denominator. Okay. Mm-hmm. So there is a thing called the one drop rule.
It's a white man's rule, but go ahead.
Right. Okay. So that shows you what they think of us.
Yes.
That one drop is enough.
Is enough to make because they know they're recessive.
Now you know that one drop rule was a 50 fake out. What it really did was it took our land.
Absolutely.
The dude Walter Plecker.
Absolutely.
It was straight robbery. That's what it was.
Yes, okay. That's what it's always been.
Exactly.
And then
what they've done best in this world is get us to be like this. We can't figure out who we are, what we are. We can't even come together. We all want to be everything that everybody is. But if we ever atoned, we outnumber them. We're smarter than they are, and we are the chosen people. We got that melanin.
That's what
we got. That melanin.
There's a secret antidote, and that secret antidote is to love each other.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted. That's our superpower.
Exactly.
Okay. We're never about what's this shit debating. It's about mutual understanding and developing our consciousness to bring us back to who we are. And if we don't do that, we will perish. That's there's a key factor of why it was illegal for us to be taught to
How
read
to read.
and write. Okay?
We'd find the truth.
There you go. So we're on that road. That train is heavy to get it back on the track, though.
There's one continent that feeds the world.
Oh, no question.
And it's Africa.
No question.
So
the one continent they want control over is Africa.
It's Africa. Yeah.
Okay. I want to give the sister a chance to chime in. By the way, and it's so funny calling you Moji Sola. I've been calling you Lush for years. But anyway, Moji Sola, this is Albert Perry, born in slavery in South Carolina around 1820. In 2012, one of his great-grandsons took a Y DNA test, which led to the discovery of the most divergent Y DNA lineage known today, the haplogroup I can't tell what the heck it's AOO. This lineage would later be traced to Cameroon. The Perry family in the USA and the distant cousins in Cameroon all descend from a single ancestor who lived just over 1,000 years ago. However, they are the most distant paternal relatives of almost everyone in the world today. Well, anyway, Moji Sola, please share your thoughts. You've listened in. I invited you earlier today. You had no idea what you were getting yourself into.
No, I mean, I love everybody's perspectives and I love the wisdom that's being dropped. There's so many different touch points, but
You're the healing lady. Heal us, lady.
Yeah. Well, I have to just piggyback off the Mr. Wells in regards to like we have to love each other, and also and everyone, people are waking up. They're waking up in different silos across the world in diaspora, that they are understanding that the veil has been removed and we are all seeking the truth, the real truth. And a lot of it is also our connection within self, because we've been looking for external answers, but a lot of it is within self, understanding and knowing thyself is the biggest start point. And I also wanted to talk about when you were talking about lynching, because we kind of like the lynching part. Technically, it has been acknowledged as a racial crime. It has been acknowledged as harm, but it hasn't been abducted in federal law as actual criminalized. So technically, lynching is still kind of legal in the United States of America. As much as we evolved and as much as we say that the law is playing its role, it is not. Technically, they can lynch you at any time. And technically, when we look at the law, they always talk about how if you look at the law and we look at the Bible, they always use terms of endearment, use God and all these things to justify the evil and the racial targeted terrorism that they constantly expose Black people to, or marginalized people, or people of melanated descent, right? So I feel in regards to like lynching, we don't have like deep Black leaders like we used to. Most of them became martyrs. They got shot. Nobody, let's be honest. Like most people don't want to die. They don't want to let go of their luxuries. Technically, and I got in trouble. Well, some people looked at me crazy when I was at Harvard. I said, we need to burn the Constitution because technically it needs to be rewritten, because technically all they did was amendments. They never truly changed the Constitution to give us personhood, to acknowledge us as humans, even though we were around when they were writing and stuff, and they took some of our knowledge in regards to systems, but they never technically gave us personhood. But yet we acknowledge it, and yet we use, they're all different characters. It's basically, how can you allow somebody to play in a game if you never gave them the keys, right? There's so much gatekeeping in regards to knowledge of how law works. And also, remember, the Bible wasn't given to people that had access. It was given to the poor or the idea of what the Bible was to the poor to manipulate them for obedience and servitude. And it has oppressed several people. And the original Bible comes all the way from, if we go back to Ethiopia, we don't talk about all these different things. So, and even King James Bible itself, this guy was a tyrant. He never really even wrote the Bible. So, looking at who are using these words and taking these narratives in order for them to manipulate people for their benefit, right? So whether it's the Bible, whether it's law, we never had personhood till this day. And we have from cradle to streamline straight to the jails. It's modern day slavery. We keep calling it different names at the end of the day, like it never stops. So when it comes to lynching or things that are oppressive, one thing is that we are continuing to become educated, right? Where we didn't have a playing field, we are educating ourselves, whether it's street knowledge, where is it from the elders, whether we're going back to school for our degrees or whatever we're doing, and we're sharing knowledge. We're going back to those days of freedom schools when they denied us for us to learn. We were teaching in basements. We were going to churches. We were gathering and we were sharing knowledge. The Green Book, we used to use the Green Book to let each other know what was the best places to go, where was safe. And we need to look at modern day Green Books of like, how do we use what we have, and even incorporating AI for our benefit. Not Nigeria, but Africa just did. I think it was a couple million people just went off grid, offline.
Yes, they did.
They went
They
offline.
did.
Exactly.
Africa has its own internet now.
Exactly. So that looking at all of these things and where the trends are happening, Africa is the major move. And as a proud Nigerian, even though we deal with our own corruption, but Mandela said if Nigeria could get it together, all of Africa could get it together. And if we can look at right now, Brazil has a direct contact with Nigeria where they're saying it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar in tourism right now. Jamaica has direct flights to Nigeria right now. All of the Caribbean islands are finding direct connects to Africa. It is a big movement, and if you're not catching on to what Abraham and the movement of what's happening, you're going to be left, because China know what's up.
Yep.
China has been slowly infiltrating, so they know what's up. And the thing is, the race, like you said earlier, you talked about the race to Africa, but one thing is, when Africa becomes totally self-sufficient, what do us as Black people honestly need in America besides the money here, right? Because honestly, Africa has all the resources. Black people are naturally intelligent geniuses. We have a genius gene in us that you can tell us to show us to do something one time and we know how to do it. Sometimes we even do stuff without even anybody training us. It's naturally within us. I don't care if we can make $1 out of 15 cents. You can never stop black people from moving or creating something. Even there was a time where they said we couldn't wear headdresses on our heads, and we turned that into a whole fashion statement. When they told us we can't wear a certain fashion, we create our own, So at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that us as people must come together and stop allowing the noise to divide us, because enough is enough.
Well said.
I want to piggyback
hold on, right? Because we got to wrap this up. We didn't get people way over their time.
All right.
I got to put this out there. On this show, I've heard Marcus Garvey get disrespected, Martin Luther King, W.E.B. Du Bois. Here's my thing for the people who criticize any of the elders, any of the ancestors. What did you do? What have you done? Who have you led?
No one.
Because until you have led, I don't think you've earned the right to tear down the leaders we have had. And I'm going to say this to you about your own parents, because it's easy to be critical of our parents, all of us. They didn't throw you in a dumpster. You are here. With that said, know that they did the best they knew how.
Yes.
Because these people throwing these shades on Dr. King, the boys, they did the best they knew how.
Yes.
And if you can do better, then lead. But don't come and tear down somebody if you ain't done nothing.
That's
Thank
right.
I agree.
Me too.
This is a very important show.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I think we
Okay.
should just end it on that.
All right, well, we'll
That
be
was
back
Profound.
tonight's 9 p.m. I hope you all can join us. Anybody got some final thoughts? And thank you for taking the time out of your schedules. Robbie, thank you for being patient with me. Y'all, let me tell you something. Me and Robbie this is civil because, and this is the thing, and Moji Sola, that's why I wanted you here too. Cognitive dissonance. If you're teaching me something that for 60 years I saw it this way, it's gonna take me a minute. Some people ain't never gonna see something else, but generally it takes you like okay, like when they took Santa Claus from me. I wish you would have never. Then you should have just told me Santa Claus. You should have told me the truth. Santa Claus was a black man. Saint Nicholas, born in Turkey. You should have told me that. You know, white people ain't giving you nothing, boy. Of course, Santa Claus is a black man. And I mean that because we get caught up. Them songs get ready to play in a couple of months, and we're gonna be singing that White Christmas, Sugar Honey Iced Tea, forgetting all of these melanated conversations we've had. We gonna get that memory thing. So Adamola, any word on cognitive dissonance? We getting this new information. We had an 87-year-old lady on here who said she is African American. Any words on healing so we don't get divided? I don't want us to not work together because I call myself this and you call me that. We don't have time for that because the same enemy your people face in Nigeria, the British, are the same ones that created a lot of this yuck here. Same one. And I think we need to know each other. That's like a girl going around or somebody going around spreading venereal disease. Spread the word. They dirty.
Exactly.
I don't know how that example came to mind, but it's life or death. And all skin folk ain't kin folk.
You better tell it.
All
That's
skin
that's
folk
true.
got some kin folk who
That's
want
true.
your soul. Who want
Yep.
your soul, male and female.
Exactly. Well, this is
Spawns of
spiritual
Satan or
warfare
something.
right now. We in spiritual warfare. The fight is for the soul.
we are.
Absolutely.
But one thing we can do though,
Just chill out. Let them keep showing their hand.
Yeah.
Right.
they showing their hand.
You said something about the Constitution. Constitution ain't SHIT. You just saw what happened with what was that? Not 9/11, but January.
You
January
saw
6th,
what they
yeah.
did when they went on and Trump let them go.
And pardoned them.
Mhm.
And they did something in an act of insurrection is in
The Constitution.
Exactly.
If you get caught
supporting an act of insurrection, you can't run for public office.
Exactly.
so that 34
Republican senators and congressmen shaking in their boots because they knew that if somebody ever brought that to the table, they
couldn't run. So they have to come together. Trump is like, look, all of y'all, we all in the same boat. Watch them. They gonna let you know.
It's technically an act of treason at the end of the day. So I mean,
It's the
I mean, if you
fork.
consider yourself an American, that
It's
was an act of treason.
it's the forked tongue concept.
Well, I think that we forget that we're dealing with a people who have broken every treaty.
Every treaty. Every treaty they set with
Now
the
that-
Native Americans, every treaty.
That's deep.
Everyone. That is deep.
Lied,
Because
stole, raped.
if you break 100 treaties, who's gonna expect you to keep the 101st one? Like, oh man, you
Correct.
broke 100 treaties. Well, you gonna honor this one right here? It's not gonna happen.
Well, did you ever think that you would see a time when Russia and the United States and Israel was the hated ones in the world together on the same team together?
Never.
Did you ever think that China would be sitting in the position that the U.S. used to be sitting in, creating all the technology? They got all the AI, and they just sitting back and they're doing all the creative financing. They got all the money. This world has changed, and if you think it was like it was back in the day, if you think the United States is in the position that they used to be, you a fool.
Yeah.
If you
China,
think Africa is not on its way coming back, you a fool. Because guess what? The Africans that are waking up are realizing all of the deals are done.
Yeah.
Everything's expired.
Yeah, China got everything. We got a blue bridge here that goes into Detroit by our big tire here. If you're familiar with Detroit on the 94 freeway, the Chinese bought that bridge. The Chinese own tens of thousands of vacant houses in Detroit. I'm sorry about the shaking, but the Chinese got the money.
They do.
Moji Soul's going to take us out with a prayer. If y'all are not opposed to it, if you are, we'll see you next time. But Moji Soul, take us on home. And Ani, a lot of love. Ani Punchy, Latero, thank you everyone for your words. And we'll let us come back and try it again. Come on, Moji Sola, take us home. And how do people reach you, Moji Sola?
Oh, it's Moji Sola. It's mojisola.edu@gmail.com or loveenergy19@gmail.com or Instagram, Love Energy Services. So this is prayer from another one of my healing sisters, and it's called Alignment. Divine Creator, Source of Light and Life, as I rise with the new day, I give thanks. Thank you for breath, for strength, and another chance to live on purpose. Align me with your will. Let me be used as a vessel of love, truth, and healing. Let every word I speak, every step I take, be a reflection of divine purpose written into my soul. I surrender all confession, distraction, and fear. Replace them with clarity, courage, and deep trust. If I speak, may it uplift. If I am to create, may it inspire. If I am to serve, may it heal. I call in protection today. Surround us with light. Heal us from harm, deception, and delay. Let no energy that is aligned with our highest, most remaining spaces. I call all energy from all places that has been scattered. We call it back. I walk in power with peace in my heart, in purpose in every move. Let us remember that we are chosen, we are guided, and we are enough. Everything we need is already within us, and everything we touch is blessed as we walk in alignment. Use us, God, today and every day to use us. Ashe, amen, and so it is. And may us walk in love, and let us make sure that we are connected to each other, because we are nothing without each other moving forward, because the next generation needs us.
I didn't know he was a Baptist preacher. I was about to snatch the mic from you.
I love you all.
The Muslims, the Muslim prayer before dinner, the Muslims say Bismillah and they go to eat.
Amen Ra.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Peace.
Respect.
Respect.
Good evening, world.